Y'all constipated? That's all good, because I'm going to offer you some advice on how to unconstipate yourself, or just maybe prevent it. But there are some things to consider. Are you pooping once a day? If so, you are still constipated. Ideally, you want to poop 2 to 4 times a day to eliminate it. Because when you're going once a day, you still have backed up bowels from meals that you ate 3 days ago. And those type of meals are the ones that are hard to digest, such as your complex proteins, or a combination of proteins and starches, and your dairy products, which are mucus forming and congesting. And you have your grains, and you have your beans, and then you have your mashed potatoes, and then you have your rice. All the favorite things in the American diet, right? They're so good that they're all bad down here. And we pay the price down in our bodies. They're hard to digest. And they're all cooked. So they don't have any digestive enzymes, right? So we borrow all the enzymes in our body to try to digest whatever it is, or untangle all of those complex proteins and make them into simple proteins, which are amino acids. Aminos are small building blocks to protein. That's what you ideally want to eat. You want aminos over proteins. Proteins are very destructive to the bowel because they cause fermentation and they're very acidic. Totally different discussion, but continue on with constipation. So that was number 1. What are you eating? Complex foods, foods that have high preservatives, foods that are toxic, foods that don't have the digestive properties to digest right. Number 2, are you stressed? Are you stressed at work? Are you stressed at home? Are you sympathetically active all the time? Meaning, are you just constantly on the fight or flight, or being defensive, or just your mind is just busy all the time and allowing this from the neck down not to do its thing? Because when you're in true rest mode, that's when you get the repair and the digestion going. Right? But when you're on the fight or flight, adrenal glands, fight or flight mode, which is always just like working, you're not going to get the autonomic nervous system to function right. Autonomic, which is automatic, right? So when the automatic is not working, we start not to appreciate it, right? So why don't we kind of just let go, step back from the stress, if we can, and let the repair happen. So, 3, did I say 2 already? 3, are you overstimulating yourself? When I say overstimulating, I'm talking about caffeine, your Starbucks, your energy drinks. For example, people, when they wake up in the morning, they got to, in order to get them to poop, shit, they have to have coffee. They say they have to have coffee in order to shit. Now, there's a sign of that. If you cannot poop in the morning, or if you can't even get yourself to shit, poop and shit, same thing, interchangeable words. Your adrenal function is just down, shot. Because when your adrenals are down, you're not going to have peristalsis. Peristalsis is that snake movement of your colon to evacuate out of your rectum and into the toilet. You don't have that. So going once a day is not good enough. 2 to 4 times a day is what you want. So, to prevent constipation, you gotta eat real food. More raw food. Less stress, and less on the stimulation of the coffee or the energy drinks. So lay off all of that, the things that you depend on, that keep you in business with the store. The only business that you want is to eat real food and to allow your body to function the way it is, the way it was designed to do, to assimilate and digest. Why not go for that instead of depending on the coffee and all that stuff, Because like I said, You know, the older you get, the more innervated you get, right? You don't want to go there. You don't want to stimulate yourself to the point where your vital organs are innervated, right? And then you complain later and nothing is automatic. See? You want to appreciate all the automatic functions that happen down here in the autonomic nervous system. So don't overstimulate, or else you will innervate. So you want to eat. I'm going overtime here, huh? Am I talking too much? Anyway, you want to eat more raw food. For me, I would just recommend watermelons. Watermelons are so fast in digesting. I mean, that, for me, in the morning, peristalsis right away. I can probably go to the bathroom 3 times, or some days, man, I went like freaking 5 times. I'm like, you'll be surprised where it's coming from. You'll be seeing like vintage proteins coming out, or vintage corn kernels coming out. When I say vintage, that's probably been sitting there for months. I mean, some people I've seen, I've heard about that, you know, them getting parasites out, or even mucoid plaque. I got that stuff out once. It's very shocking, scary and shocking at the same time. So you want to eat more raw foods and lay off on all the complex foods. Because when you're unconstipated, when everything is flowing, blood, nerve, and lymph, you have this energy that just keeps cycling and expanding. It's euphoric. So you don't want to be constipated, or else the energy will be obstructed in your body.